We good?
We are golden. Check.
Check.
Splendid.
Action, off we go. Welcome to Here's Your Freaking Podcast with the Jason Lee Clark Show. As always, thank you for being a part of the podcast and joining us every week. If you're brand new, it's different than the radio show. You'll pick up on that pretty quick. What do we got on the podcast today? A hilarious situation that a man, this is humiliating on every level, but then he brings up a really great point about what's it like to be married, and she finds something that you don't really want her to find. Well, look at the 21st century's greatest porn stars. We'll talk about signs that you may not be as good in bed as you think you are.
You're not a master swordsman, bro.
And then one of my favorite sentences that anybody could possibly use, stretching all the way back to when we were children into adulthood. He was fingering her. There's never, ever, ever an opportunity. There's never a chance that the word fingering won't get a laugh out of me. I don't care if you're talking about somebody going through the buffet line and fingering the food as they try to put it on their plate, or leaving some fingered food behind for some other knucklehead, or you're at an outdoor cafe and a witness says, quote unquote, he was fingering her. We'll get to that later on in the podcast. Let's start right about...
Well, if you are streaming along on the video, today was supposed to be a theme day.
Oh yeah,
I don't normally dress like this.
Matt Foley.
Hey,
stand up.
We agreed 3 days
Stand
ago.
up. Do this. Pretend like you're running.
In a van down by the river.
Now throw yourself on the floor.
But we agreed 4 days ago, and we talked about it yesterday, and I get to work today, and I have a shirt and tie on, and you are not wearing a shirt and tie.
No.
So now everyone in the office thinks I'm some fucking dick, or
I've got an interview later on today.
I got court.
Oh yeah, I guess that's more likely than not. Yeah, less interview, more court. That's right. Well, that's good. You got the little thing on there holding it down so your tie doesn't blow away.
A little tie tech there.
Right.
Fuck you, man. You should have seen me this morning getting ready for work, brushing my teeth.
Who's a handsome boy?
Put my tie on, comb my hair. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to feel pretty good today. And I get to work and realize that I'm in the clown situation and you aren't.
Well, we'll do it again next week. So next week I promise we'll do shirt and tie. Mostly because I have a hilarious tie that I can't wear because I'm a fucking grown-up. And I can't wear a funny tie.
And I almost reminded you.
And it's not a bow tie either. Let me get that. I'm not a fucking bow tie guy. Zing, 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 zing. I'm not that guy. But we'll do it next week. So next week I'll do the shirt and tie. Mostly because I have a tie that I think is funny, and I think I want you to see it.
Yeah, here's already the comments. Will the defendant please rise?
Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. No contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, I implore you.
All right, let's start right here. I didn't know this was a place on the internet. You want to spice up your sex life, right? Everybody does. This research comes from a company, a site for custom erotic stories. It's called Smut Finder.
Oh.
Obviously, judging by the name, they know what they're talking about here.
So when you say it's custom erotic stories, I can give you my situation, who I want involved in some names, and you can spit me out something naughty.
You're like, I'm a big dumb dickhole that wore a shirt and tie to work.
So wait a
Everyone
minute.
said I look like Matt Foley, but it was more like Fat Foley.
But then
Fat Moley.
But then I walked into the studio, and a hot girl was in the office, and she's like, well, I've never seen you cleaned up like that before. She wanted to tell me you have you rail her. No.
Smut Finder finds... they've come up with what is the kinkiest state in America. And they did it by using what they consider to be kink scores. There's 5 basic metrics that they use. By the way, during their 15 months,
I'm going to say the more buttoned down. This is probably like a Utah jam right here.
I would have thought too, but no. They said they based it on 5 metrics. They also, with the help from the U.S. Census Bureau, Google Keyword Planning, and Only4 Search. I don't know what that is. The data is adjusted for the population of each state. They looked at 5 metrics, which includes online searches for adult stores, online searches for adult content, online searches for fetish-related terms and BDSM.
Do you really need to find an adult bookstore? Doesn't everyone know where they're at in town?
Just off the interstate. It's
Yep.
always just off the interstate. The number of OnlyFans creators and the number of strip clubs in the town. The
Okay.
Smut Finder says they're insisting that the rankings aren't about kink shaming. They're about understanding, and the goal is to get a better insight into where interest in adult content and experiences is concentrated. So, here are the tamest states: South Carolina, Alabama, New Mexico, Wisconsin, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, South Dakota, Delaware, and New Jersey is the tamest state. So if
Wow.
you want good crazy sex, stay out of Jersey, young man.
Would have thought Atlantic City would have been a little freaky.
Here's the top spots. Alaska. They have the internet in Alaska?
Well, it could be too.
Like 6?
It could be too because there's not a lot of people there. You kind of got to look for this stuff because it's not around.
Are you into weird stuff? Because I'm into weird stuff too. Shouldn't surprise anybody. Florida's next. Montana, Washington, Wyoming, Texas, Oregon, Colorado. Kinkiest state in America is Nevada.
Oh, Sin City.
I just love this story. This story is so great because this guy brings up such a fantastic point. And he gets shot down for bringing up the point, but I think the point, it needs to be discussed. It is not without merit that the guy's fucking right. Here's what this guy says. He takes this to Reddit, and he says, all hell is broken loose in my house after my wife did some snooping in my man cave.
Hey, they do this?
I guess.
I don't think my wife has ever set foot in my basement office.
You like disregard the smell and snoop around.
Well, you got a runny nose, all these tissues wadded up in the corner. It's the allergies.
He says when his wife was snooping around in his man cave, she found his quote-unquote self-pleasure station.
He has a station.
Oh wait, she called it the self-pleasure station. He says there's a recliner with a small table. See how funny that is?
I can already picture the scene. Yeah, there's a bottle of lotion there in the drawer.
Sicily, 2025. It's got a recliner, a small table, and a drawer next to it. Inside the drawer, he says, I have a bottle of lube. Of course, what do you have in front of you? That's right, the television. He says, you can figure out the rest. Obviously, it's his little masturbation station.
If she wanted to embarrass him, she's like, no, tell me what the rest is. Figure it out for me.
It's my beating chair. He says...
You got a special chair for it. That's great.
He says it's all in front of the television. Obviously, you can figure out the rest. Now she's pissed and inferring all kinds of things about the state of our relationship which just aren't true. All right. Some wives would be anti. They would be against that.
I know there are some women that are like, if you're masturbating on your own time, that means that you're thinking about other people, or we're not doing it enough. But some days you just want to.
He says, then I pointed out the arsenal of sex toys that she has by our bed.
Oh.
She claims it's totally different, even though I know for a fact that those toys aren't just being used when we're together. That's a great argument. That is a fantastic argument. He says,
it doesn't even sound like an argument. That sounds like that's the end of the story.
But it's not. We've all been married, and we know that the end of the story is never the end of the story.
So your drawer full of toys is much classier than my beating chair.
He says, would it make her feel any better if I tended... What? Would it make her feel any better if I tended to my own needs in our room? What difference does it make where I do it? What is the issue here? I don't have answers to any of those questions for you, guy. That's all I know. I just know that you brought up a great point, and you should probably just close the door and walk away.
I would rather die than have my wife be like, is this for you to do this? Is this what this is? Look at the way this chair is reclined.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you even build this goon cave in the basement? Shut up. Don't look at me.
Why are you sitting straight up and down like you're sitting in a chair in the dining room?
Why did you put bells around the doorknob leading to the basement? I don't know. Could catch me doing some private home improvement.
Why do you have a doorstop on the other way? You have a chair propped up against the door. Well, speaking of what he's watching on television, who are the greatest porn stars of the 21st century?
You've already sort of tipped your hat that what I thought would have been number one as far as recognizability, being a household name.
I don't know how recognizable she is, though. I think she's just recognizable because of our radio show.
Every guy knows who she is and what she looks like.
We were talking about...
I could probably draw her from memory right now. Which is hilarious because if you talk about body of work, she barely has any.
We were laughing on the show one day. I don't know, somehow this woman came up in conversation and I didn't know who she was, so I Googled her, and the first thing I saw was a photo of her and her glasses. I guess she has signature glasses. And I said, oh my God, she has Harry Carey glasses on. And then a legend was born on the radio show that Mia Khalifa, holy cow, I can't believe all you guys, I can't believe your bus broke down in front of my house.
Oh, I tell you what, you work up a huge thirst. I could go for a bucket of Longbecks. Budweiser.
So then all of a sudden we thought it was hilarious to use Mia Khalifa with the Harry Carey voice. She is not the greatest porn star of the 21st century. Here we go. Here's the top 10.
I know how they quantify the greatest athletes. It's titles won, it's statistics. I don't understand how they do this for porno stars.
They do it by...
most AVN awards.
Yeah, who wins the most awards. Actually, the number one, I think you and I talked about the other day.
Because I think Mia Khalifa shot to fame because she was the most searched for porn star for like 8 years straight.
Okay.
The bulk of that was me.
10-1, here we go. Bonnie Rotten. It says 2012.
She was married to Jesse James, right?
Dupree from Jackal?
No, the more famous Jesse James.
The old cowboy?
No, the motorcycle guy.
Oh no, Jesse James Dupree from Jackal is way more famous than that other guy.
He's more famous to us. In the last 20 years, Jesse James Dupree has been on TMZ no times, but the other Jesse James has been on there a lot. Remember, because she was the whole, like, they were like some Nazi shit.
I thought it was Kat Von D.
I think Kat Von D left.
No, he was married to Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, before.
Okay, all right. So I hate to admit it, but he may be more famous than the fellow from Jackal. Even though, that being said, being Jackal Ryder does.
Oh, hey, she's still married. They got married in 2022, so this is a new thing.
Okay. Bonnie Rotten is a pioneer in the inked-up fetish part of the adult entertainment universe, they say. In 2014, she was the Performer of the Year. 2015, Kinkiest Performer Award winner. Starred in over 300 scenes, directed 20 features, including her own production company. Okay. Is that spelled C-U-M-P-A-N-Y? Gross. I don't know who this is either. Number 9, Adriana Shashik. In 11 years, she starred in more than 1,000 scenes, was never shy about pushing the envelope, particularly...
How do you spell her last name?
C-H-E-C-K. No, C-H-E-C-H-I-K. It says, yeah, particularly gangbang scenes. That's where she truly shined her light, I guess. Would I recognize her? Was she on Entourage at any point?
No, but she gave up porno and started to become a video game streamer on Twitch.
Okay.
In 2022, she broke her back when she jumped into a deceptively shallow foam pit at the Twitch convention.
That's unfortunate.
She broke her back, taking so many wieners.
Mia Malkova is number 8. Currently, more than 500,000 fans subscribe to her Twitch streams. Before that, her impressive body landed in over 700 scenes over a 13-year career, including 1 year she won the Best Group Sex Scene Award.
Hey, she also has given up pornography to do gaming on Twitch.
That's wild.
You know, the weird thing is, too, when we were growing up, you know, remember how porno girls looked a certain way?
Mm-hmm.
These don't. They all look like just everyday, regular-ass influencers.
You know how exciting that is to find a girl that just wants to video game and be naked all day? That's got to be amazing. Dylan Harper is number 7. Best porn performers from the past 25 years. For more than a decade, she was an industry fixture. More than 600 scenes to her credit. Subscription-based website on OnlyFans. Continued to be wildly popular. Blah blah blah. Holy cow! Mia Khalifa coming in at number 6. Here's what we didn't, or I guess we did know after we started talking about Mia Khalifa. She was only active in the business for less than a year. But what an impact she had. She was the high point of international outrage after she wore.
It was a headdress, right?
Yeah. I thought it said in 50 scenes. Oh, she was only in 50 scenes. So these other girls that are like 1,000 scenes, 700 scenes, 600 scenes, she only did 50 scenes. After her adult career, she was able to branch out as a sports commentator.
Andrew on YouTube points out that if you do 1,000 scenes in 11 years, that's 90 scenes a year. You're cranking out a porno scene every 4 days for over a decade.
Wow. And then her uterus fell out in the middle of the street. Mia Khalifa is a sports commentator, creator of a jewelry line, a webcam model, and an OnlyFans creator.
I remember she would also, too, because all these NBA guys and athletes would slide up in her DMs and she would out them.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, and like share what they were thirsting after.
Lana Rhoades is number 5, greatest porn actresses from the past 25 years. She made an impact during her 2-year stint, racked up more than 400 scenes. Today, she's a successful podcaster and has a line of lingerie. What is that? Lingerie? I don't know either.
Are they like hobbits? only in pictures?
She's still one of the most searched platform performers. Tori Black is number 4. Isn't she old school?
Hey, that Lana Rhoades podcast has 1 million subscribers.
Lana Black is number 4. Back-to-back AVN Female Performer of the Year. Was a major reason the adult entertainment explosion started at the turn of the century. I thought that was the internet. I thought the internet is the reason why we had such a huge explosion. Oh, I forgot about this girl, and she was on Entourage. That's where my point of reference is for most of these porno girls. She was in Entourage. Sasha Grey.
Yes. For a while, she was it.
450 scenes, was able to pull off the elusive mainstream crossover roles in Entourage and The Girlfriend Experience. I don't know what that is.
We only know the wife experience.
Yeah.
No.
Been a very long time.
No.
Jenna Hayes is number 2. She was the first true porn star of the 2000s. She's credited with over 750 scenes, half a dozen industry awards, and 1 Female Performer of the Year.
Yeah.
Which leaves us at number 1. Who is it? You and I just talked about her last week. I don't remember why, though. She was part of a meme, and I didn't understand the meme.
Oh, the girl's going like this, gritting her teeth.
Maybe. Is that what it was?
Maybe this is a conversation I have with somebody totally different.
I don't remember. I just remember we talked about her. Riley Reid, greatest porno actress in the past 25 years. She debuted in 2010. They say it's not really a contest in terms of overall popularity, influence, name recognition, and career accomplishments. That's why she ends up in the top spot.
If you type in Riley Reid meme, you'll get the face,
All right, hang on.
and you don't even need it doesn't even need to be on the Wi-Fi or not for the firewall. But her face, it's used in a variety of memes.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's her.
That's super funny. She takes the top spot. Good for her.
Yep.
All right, moving forward. How do you know you're bad in bed? Well, you don't. Everybody assumes that there's some sort of a fucking dynamo in there. But the reality is, if you're honest with yourself, you may just find out that you ain't that good at all. Here are the signs that you're bad in bed, and it's destroying everything. All right, we'll peel through these pretty quick. Some of them we'll get stuck on. Number 1 does I don't understand this. You're not the biggest fan of sex. Obviously, if you're not a fan of something, you're not going to be good at it, right?
Yeah, but who's not?
Like,
I suppose there are people who are like, I can take it or leave it.
I'm not a big fan of bowling, hence I fucking blow at it. So there's plenty of things that if you don't like it, you're not going to be good at it. So obviously, if you don't really care for sex all that much, And you have to ask yourself, am I bad at sex? Well, it's okay because I don't care that much for it. That means you're pretty shitty, right? Of course. Signs you're bad in bed. You feel ashamed or embarrassed of your sexuality. Embarrassed, yes. Ashamed, not really. Embarrassed, yeah, there's some things that cross my mind that I'm embarrassed of. Who comes up with this? I don't know. It just popped into my head.
Like my wife is aware of some of the things I'm into. She will never ever be aware of all of the things I am into.
Something about sex makes you uncomfortable. You feel ashamed when your partner compliments you sexually. Or you're overthinking everything. And when you're overthinking stuff, what? That you're lousy at it. You have to plan out signs that you're bad in bed. You have to plan out the entire act before you do it. I don't know if I'm planning it out, but I'm running every scenario through.
Hey, you know what it is? It's like a set list for a really great classic rock band. There's my big closing number. There's what I like to open with and warm the crowd up a little
Right,
bit.
little Detroit Rock City.
And then at some point, the new song that no one's really into will make an appearance, and it'll probably just fall off the set list moving forward.
And then, of course, we play rock and roll on that at the end and blow the hell out of it. You would blow everything up.
Yep.
Sure. They say you like to know what's coming, whether you're going to have sex. You try to plan it all out and make sure that your partner follows the plan. Oh, that's where it happens. You've got a plan, and if they deviate from that plan, you're like, oh no, it's not going according to script. How do you know you're bad in bed? Your partner seems, this is an obvious one, your partner seems distracted in sex. You tried everything, your partner's not interested in having sex with you. Yeah, that would tell me that I'm bad at it.
Yep. Well, my first thought would be maybe she has something else on her mind. My second instant immediate thought would be,
did you change the channel?
I am not good at this, and I know that this performance is not worthy of a repeat.
You've never asked your partner what they like in bed. Yeah, you don't ask that question because you're afraid of the answer.
She's like a thin guy. No.
You and your partner never have pillow talk. I'm not sure I even know what pillow talk is. You've had passionate sex, now you're done. What do you do?
Hey, got a big day tomorrow. Big Wednesday.
Mind if I sleep on the couch?
Yeah, I got a lot of shit I gotta get done this week.
If your partner tries to talk to you after sex, but you have absolutely no interest in talking about anything, well, there you go.
Sometimes, in my defense, there's nothing to talk about.
That was pretty great, right? Right? You treat sex like another task for the day.
Oh.
Research shows that treating sex as a chore is often seen in marital relationships where pleasure is taken for granted. Sexual satisfaction involves mutual effort.
Pleasure is taken for granted. Well, some people have all the love.
There's 5 words that probably ought to be posted up somewhere. Sexual satisfaction involves mutual effort.
What was that last 2 words?
Effort. Mutual. The twos of us. You're bad in bed if you never engage in foreplay. Oh, that's for the single people. All the single people.
Have you seen there's been some videos on Reddit and TikTok the last few weeks where a guy will set the camera up and make his woman plank and get into the guy's position and try to hold it. Go ahead, do it for 2 minutes. Let's see how hard it is on you. And then, like, after about
now wiggle about.
Yeah, after about 30 seconds, her whole body's quivering because she can't hold the position. She's like, no. Now go ahead and be hard while you're doing it. See, it's not easy.
I hear that sigh every time you suggest, hey, maybe you could get on top.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's fucking tough up there on Everest, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a lot of work. You never engage in foreplay. You never get past that first date. Sexual experiences can sometimes be fleeting and not develop into long-term relationships. It's more important to focus on building trust and communication.
You ain't gonna tell anybody, are you?
Yeah, you be quiet, right? Your friends don't know about this. They don't know about that weird stuff that pops into my head that I blurt out every once in a while, right? You're bad in bed if you don't have an emotional relationship. Your relationship with your partner outside the bedroom has a direct impact on what's going on in the bed. If you don't have a connection with your partner, your sexual relationship suffers. How do you know you're bad in bed? You only focus on yourself.
We're at the age where we talk smack all day long, how crazy it's going to be that night. until it's time and we both acknowledge that we're both very exhausted. We go to sleep.
I should have had one last drink and one last bite of my meal.
Dirty talking all day long, and then we just go to sleep.
Dude, it's gonna be fucking crazy when we get there.
When I start saying I'm so full, it is fucking game off.
You know when you take that first sip of that one last, you're like, and you go, that was the one sip over the line. I am officially good for nothing after this.
This is going to be worth nothing tonight.
How about maybe we'll just wake up early and do it? How about that? We'll do that.
Hey, we can knock it out before we go into our Saturday.
What about tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, you know what? We'll be cool with it tomorrow night. How do you know you're bad in bed? You only focus on yourself and you keep apologizing.
He says, let's not eat a lot tonight so we can stay conscious. It's like the idea of having sex after Thanksgiving dinner. Nothing sounds less appealing.
It's like that every Friday and Saturday night.
Roll around. I've had 11 beers and half a Hungry Howie's.
Here's what I know that I'm totally not going to be into sex later on in the night. I'm like, you know what we should do? We should get a bottle of wine with dinner. As soon as those words come out of my mouth, I'm like, yep, well, maybe we'll wake up early and do it after that. You keep apologizing.
I like the comfort of being married because you know, but you also know that she knows, and you both know. We don't need.
Yeah, he's all big talk right now, so I can big talk back.
Yep. It's Friday. He's going to get all fat and drunk later.
They say saying sorry every time you change positions or show unnecessary concern can ruin a mood. I don't know what that means. People have apologized because they feel vulnerable. Okay. You're bad at sex because you're too pushy. You're a big pushy. Showing interest in having sex with your partner can be flattering, but being too pushy about it is demeaning and may even turn your partner against you. It's a classic sign she thinks you're bad at sex if you're constantly begging for it. You're bad at sex when you don't do any of the work. Sex is not one-sided. I thought we already covered that, didn't we? Hey, stop beating this dead horse. You're bad at sex when you're overconfident. We all know that guy. It's the guy that typically uses the word railed when he's talking about sex. Being confident about yourself and body is sexy.
Or you're like, yeah, she's into women. That's because she hasn't had me yet.
Right.
But turn her straight, right?
All right, here's one of my favorite terms. I don't know why. It gets a laugh out of me every time. Anytime you use the word fingered as a verb, I don't care if you're talking about fingering food at a buffet or if, like the witness in this case.
But there was a time when we were much, much, much younger people where that was breaking some sort of sexual barrier. Like, oh yeah, totally fingered her.
Well, that was like the top. That was the most you could do. Ryan and Kimberly were reportedly enjoying each other's company when Ryan allegedly decided he was going to, well, according to one witness, he fingered her. They were at an outdoor sidewalk cafe.
Hey, they get extra points for being adults.
I think so. They were at a sidewalk cafe in Gay Paris? No, Florida. Florida. When he ran his hand up, what's her name? Kimberly's skirt, reports say they caused a disturbance, a breach of peace. They were arrested, both of them, and they were identified by witnesses who called out the couple in their moment of fingering bliss.
Hey, you know what's embarrassing? Somebody standing up going, hey, that guy's fingering her! His hand goes...
I would drop my fork and phone and I would fucking look quick. I'd be like, where?
I'm eating al fresco and there's somebody getting fingered?
I don't care what kind of story you could be in the middle of. It would lose my attention.
Gross! He's fingering her!
A widow has brought new meaning to being with someone in spirit after allegedly having a threesome with a woman and the ghost of her dead husband. Woman says, I don't believe in the afterlife, but I felt his presence as we had sex, she says. Her name is Nikki Wake. She's 53. Talking about the ghost that was a part of her menage a trois with another woman. She does identify herself as being bisexual, obviously, because she's, Claimed that the husband, Andy, had dreamt about having a threesome, something she had secretly fantasized about as well. There's also something fun about marriage right there, children, if you're new to it. He talked about it often, I guess, before he passed, and she secretly fantasized about it.
So all he needed,
all she had to do was say, "Yeah, that sounds hot as hell."
and he could have died with that off of his sexual bucket list.
That's like if I'm sitting here talking about I'm hungry and I would murder a stranger for a Big Mac meal at McDonald's and a side 6-piece of nugs with barbecue sauce and a Coke. And you agree that sounds wonderful, but you don't say anything out loud. And I say, boy, if just the two of us could go to McDonald's and get a number one.
And I'm thinking,
that would be great.
Lovely, but I don't say we should go.
But nothing comes out of your mouth, so then we don't get the burger. We don't get the McDonald's. She then says, I don't know why all of a sudden I got under my skin. Andy had dreamt about having a threesome, something she secretly fantasized about as well. I used to joke that I'd treat him to it on his 60th birthday.
And he died at what age?
It doesn't say. Early 50s.
Okay, so he never lived long enough.
No, it wasn't until her husband.
So she knew what he wanted, and she would joke about fulfilling this want, but she said no.
Kicking the can down the road.
Yep.
COVID got him back in 2020.
Oh.
But she says she was able to finally make his dream come true by linking up with a woman who had...
I'm sure he fucking appreciates it now.
Oh, this makes it even worse. So the girl she fucks is who? Stranger?
The neighbor?
No. She made his dream come true by hooking up with a woman who had the hots for her late husband before he died. They reportedly had sex in Andy's honor. This poor son of a bitch.
Fuck, what a terrible woman.
They claimed that a spirit was there, probably just to make themselves feel better.
That's what I think this is. She's
was honoring his request.
Riddled with guilt. I could have made his dream fucking come true, but instead I joked about it and then decided to do it later with somebody who would have been thrilled to fuck anyhow.
They do claim that they nearly did it, the three of them nearly did it together while he was alive on several occasions. But then what happened? She also claims they almost did it with an American couple they met on a nude beach once. What is this woman's deal?
Hey, is that her kink? Making him think he's about to get it and be like, oh, now I'm too full, I go to bed.
You know how to get off on depriving you of happiness.
Yep.
Once in a lifetime opportunities. Yeah, they said they had talked about having a triple header at a New Year's Eve party, but refrained from pulling the trigger. Jeez, this woman is a monster.
Yep.
All right, there you go. We'll end it on that note.
Yeah, the cool thing is after this podcast, we have to go to a meeting, and I would look like I'm taking it very seriously in my shirt and tie.
Pour a little something out for Andy today. Think
Yeah.
about Andy. COVID got him 5 years ago, but you know what? He continues to live on, and he should live on as an inspiration. His death should not be in vain. Throw a little respect on the name.
Mm-hmm.
That's the podcast for this week. Don't forget you can stay up to date all things JLNK anytime. Just head over to jlnkshow.com. We'll see you next Tuesday.